Okay, today we are going to start working on the goal. I can write an equation to represent a real world problem, a word problem, okay? Anyways, we're going to start on this, and we're going to start working with expressions first, okay? And what I would like to do first, I've given you a handout translating keywords and phrases into algebraic expressions. I would like you to turn that over on the back, and we're going to define some terms that are really, really important for you to understand. An expression. An expression. There is no equal sign. Okay? An expression has no equal sign. This is an example of an expression. 5x plus 15. And we are going to define the different terms in this expression. Let's look at the 15. Do you know what the mathematical name, not 15? 15 represents something called a constant. In other words, it doesn't change. It is 15, it's a number, it's staying constant. Here's another part of an expression, the x. It represents a variable. Okay? We don't know what it is until we get an equation and we solve for x, or sometimes in an expression we're asked to evaluate when x is equal to a certain number. Okay? The other part is the 5, and that is known as the coefficient. All right, a number that sits right next to a variable is a coefficient. It co-resides next to the variable. And that always means you're going to multiply your coefficient times whatever your variable ends up being. So here is an expression. An equation always has an equal sign. And we are generally asked to solve an equation. So, for example, we could have 5x plus 15 equals 35. An equation is an actual sentence. You have verbs and nouns. Okay? An expression is not. The last couple of things I want to go over is, because they will start coming up, are inequality signs. And for some reason, students struggle with what these are and what they mean at times. Let's start with the less than sign. Okay? And it always has the small closed off part of the sign towards whatever is less. Okay, usually you are comparing two numbers. An example would be 3 is less than 5. Okay, then we've got the greater than symbol, and it has the open part facing the greater value. So I could just turn this around and write 5 is greater than 3. Okay? Now, of course, you can add to those. You can say less than or equals, or greater than and equals. And all you're doing is you're going to put a line underneath them. All right? I'm not going to go over those quite. I don't want to add more and get confused. So let's turn this little green, well, yours, I don't know if yours is green, but it may be green. Mine, it will be green. And let's look at some keywords. There's a table here, and it has the operation, the keyword phrase, an example, and then how it translates in what you write for it, okay? Addition. One of the words that you see a lot of times for addition is plus. Ooh, more than. That is the trickiest one for students. If you notice, when you have 10 more than a number, the 10 comes after the variable, okay? All right? If it's just 10 more a number, or 10 greater a number, then it would be 10 plus x. The sum, the total, increased by, added to, or just the word and. All those things mean addition. Then we have subtraction. Minus, ooh, here's less than, okay? Remember, when it has a than afterwards, the number comes after the variable. The difference of, less. See how it says 9 less a number? That is where your number comes before the variable. Not for less than a number, the number comes after the variable. Okay? Decreased by, subtracted from, all those words mean subtraction. Multiplication. Common words that mean multiplication. Times, the product of, twice, doubled, multiplied by, of. Oh my goodness, this one is a lot. Also, some are per, and each also mean multiplication. And here's the different ways that things can be shown. If you have a fraction, you just write the fraction next to the variable, 3/4 of a number. Next, we have division. For some people, they don't understand that quotient means division. Product meant to multiply, okay? The quotient of a number and 7. 10 divided by a number. A ratio is a fraction, which is essentially a division problem. We've been talking about that line right there. That line is a divide by sign, okay? You could also represent these. The most common way you're used to is x divided by 7, aren't you? Okay? Powers. Now, we're going to cross out this cube of, or cubed, because you don't learn about cubes until you get into algebra. So, but I'll just show it. It's x to the 3rd power, all right? You really need to know about squares, all right? X squared, okay? It's the square of a number. You also think, what undoes a square? I've been saying it in my class a lot. What undoes a square? I hope you said square root, okay? Equals. Oh, many things mean equals. Equals is the same as, yields, amounts to. How about just the total? Okay? Or sometimes they use the word all of something. That's a really good word also. Okay? We have, so then I want to go, and so knowing that you have this as a tool, we want to use it as a tool. Now, I am going to go ahead and go over to our notes sheet now. Okay? And we are going to do our notes. And you have some more examples of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division here. I want you to cross this off because I want you, whenever you see than, I want you to put the number after the variable. Okay? If you see the word than, T-H-A-N, all right? So let's go through these and translate each phrase into a variable expression. Use n for the variable. So they don't want us to use x, they want us to use n. All right, we can do that. 5, ooh, more than a number. Okay, so remember I said if it says more than, the number is going to come after the variable. A number, so that's my n, divided by 4. So I can do a number divided by 4, or I could write that as a number divided by 4, couldn't I? The sum, what does sum mean? What does sum mean? Well, if I go up here, sum is on addition. So the sum of a 3 and a number. So 3 and a number. Okay? The quotient of a number and 3. Okay, the quotient of a, I got to do an n number and 3, and that could be written that way, or n over 3. 9 times a number. Well, we know that that means to multiply. I hope you're not using an x anymore for multiplication. There will be one time this year I ask you to do it, but for the most part, I want you to use that dot, okay? Because otherwise it gets mixed up with the variable x. So we got 9 times a number. We could also write that as just 9n. Okay? Because when you have a number sitting next to a variable, it is implied you are multiplying those two together. For, here we go. More than half a number. So remember I said you have to put, it's more than, so we're going to do plus 4, and we're going to do half a number. Now, if you knew what, you need to know what a half is half this, or you could write it as 0.5n plus 4. Either way would be acceptable. 10 less than 1/2 of a number. Oh my goodness, we're getting more. Okay, we got to know that 10 has to go second, so I'm going to go ahead and write my subtract 10, because it said less than 1/2 of a number. So there's your variable. I got to put 1/2 of a number less than 10. Yes, I could have done 0.5n minus 10. 3 plus the product. Now this gets a little more, okay? Product means multiplying a number and 5. Ooh. So I have 3 plus the product of a number and 5. Ooh. Or I could write it 3 plus the product of a number and 5. That's probably how you would start, and then you would be able to drop that multiplication sign. You always write the coefficient first next to the variable. For more than 3 times a number. So remember I said when it says more than, you have to put it afterwards, and it says 3 times a number. So there's my 3n. Oh, I used x up here, I'm sorry. Should have used n. And the last one, 8 times. Now these are really tricky, and you shouldn't have any of these in 8th grade to do, so I wouldn't get all worried about it, but I'm going to show it to you anyways. The sum of a number and 2. Remember, sum means to add, okay? And they want to add a number and 2, and then they want you to multiply it times 8. So 8 times the sum of a number and 2. Okay? I know it's a lot to take in. Okay? So don't worry. We're going to start out a little bit slow and then we'll move up. I want you to go get your note sheet. Pause it, please, and then I'm going to give you some instructions. Okay, the last thing for today. It says translate each sentence into an equation. Use X to represent your number. Now, you have lots of notes you can use. Okay, you have translating keywords. You have translating words into symbols notes, but these are for some reason, students get stuck on them, okay? So this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to do number 1. 5 more than a number is, so that's your equal sign. I'm just going to use X for my variable, for my number. I have 5 more than a number is 17. So if I do 5 more than, I know I have to write it first, then write my variable is 17. Okay, just like that. Now, I'll even do the second one. 5 is 6 less than, oh, we have that less than again. Okay, twice a number. Ooh, that's kind of hard. That is 5 is 6 less than. So here's your equal sign, that is. Okay, so 5 is 6 less than twice, which is 2, a number, which is your variable, 2x, okay? I would like you to look and pick out 5. 5 more. So you'll only do 5 more, okay, of those. All right? Then I want you to match down here, and I don't care which 5 you do, any 5. Then you're going to do the matching down here, okay? And you are going to find the answer and put your A, B, C, D, whatever it is over here. Then on the back, you have 2 mad problems, and you have inequality signs and equal signs. Remember, you're going to need to change all of these into decimals or mixed number decimals. That's a mixed number decimal. So this one needs to be 4 and whatever 10 divided by 13 is added to it. Remember that this one is less than, so we could even write ourselves a little note. Less than, which means then whatever's on the left is less than what's on the right. This one is greater than, so whatever is on the left is greater than what is on the right. Okay? And then you have an equal sign. And this is your job today. Okay? Make sure I get it back, please.